Hi, I'm Mayor Mike Walsh, and I'd like to welcome you to the Mayor's Corner. This is a program where we provide viewers with information about city government, pertinent issues, and things that may be of interest within our community. I will be interviewing individuals in an effort to give a first-hand perspective of concepts, ideas, and involvements of a particular subject. The topic for this episode is about the city's Quasquicentennial and some of the events for this year. My guest is Allyson Watson from Definitely De Pere. Welcome, Allyson, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. First off, will you tell our viewers a bit about Definitely De Pere and what you do for our community?
Sure. I'm the executive director of Definitely De Pere, and I'm also the manager of our downtown business improvement district here in De Pere. Our business improvement district is a special assessment district which involves downtown commercial businesses, and each year those property owners pay an assessment in proportion to the value of their property. Those funds are directly reinvested into downtown development. It funds part of our budget, and each year those projects include a variety of different angles of things that could help improve the downtown. It includes beautification, historic preservation, marketing, promotion, and also business assistance. So we do quite a bit of work to help downtown businesses. I am also, as I mentioned, the director of Definitely De Pere. That is a nonprofit body that the downtown bid funds each year in part. We also have other funding from other mechanisms as well, such as our events and corporate sponsorships. You may have seen us on Facebook or on our website. We act sort of as the chief marketing agency for the downtown, and as well as I mentioned before, helping downtown businesses one-on-one to make sure that they're successful and that downtown is full of interesting and thriving businesses.
So what kind of background do you have, Allyson, as far as what you do for the downtown?
Well, I actually started as an intern in the city of De Pere in the fall of 2012, and I was the intern in the planning department for about 6 months under Ken Pavick. And in that time, I got to see firsthand how city government works, and especially in a municipality the size of De Pere. And I got to witness not only how planning impacts local businesses, but also how it strengthens the community and makes it a more vibrant and desirable place to live, in addition to the other things that make people want to live in a community, such as the schools, the low crime rates. De Pere is very fortunate to not only have excellent schools and great education rates, but also a very safe community. We consistently rank on top 10, top 20 lists statewide for being a very safe community and for being a very smart community. We already have those things going for us, but I really got to see firsthand how the city can become actively involved in improving its business culture in order to make it a more thriving business community, which not only makes it attractive to residents, but also to entrepreneurs. So I was an intern for 6 months, and then in that time, the Main Street program, Definitely De Pere, was starting to reform and resurface. It had been on hiatus for a couple years prior, and I had such an interest in staying in De Pere that I decided to apply for the job. It did conveniently coincide with when I was graduating with my master's degree. I have a master's degree in public and nonprofit administration, which gave me a good background not only in how city sectors work, but also in how nonprofits are administrated.
Well, we're certainly happy that not only did you work for the city and did a great job, I might add, but that you ultimately got this position. And since this episode is supposed to be about, easy for me to say, Quasquicentennial, for those people who don't know, and I'm not going to say it again, what that means, could you kind of explain what that is, please?
Well, Quasquicentennial, if I'm saying it right, is a fancy word for 125th anniversary. De Pere celebrated its 100th anniversary in 1990, and now here in 2015 we are celebrating the Quasquicentennial, or 125th birthday of De Pere. Now, some of our viewers may know that De Pere was first discovered in the, I want to say, 18th century by French-Canadian voyageurs who were in the area on the Fox River for fur trading. But since then, we had municipal changes that led to our official birthday being 1890. Those changes included prior two separate municipalities, one straddling the east side of the Fox River and one on the west, merging into one municipality, the city of De Pere, in 1890. So here in 2015, we are celebrating 125 years of a united city.
Can you tell me what's new and expanded about the Downtown De Pere Art Walk series this year?
Yeah, absolutely. The Downtown Art Walk is one of our favorite summer events, and it's also one of our recurring events. We're in our third year this year. I'm glad you asked about that because the Art Walk is one of the big events that we're doing this year to celebrate the 125th anniversary. Traditionally, we've had 3 Art Walk dates each year. This year, we are doubling that to have 6 Art Walks. We've also decided, based on some weather problems in the last couple of years, to really shorten the window in which the art walks happen. They used to start earlier in May. This year we've pushed our opening art walk back to after Memorial Day weekend. We're hoping that even if the weather is not nice, which hopefully it will be nice, at least after Memorial Day people are kind of in the spirit of being outside and want to get out and enjoy summer, even if it's not always summerly at that time, but we're crossing our fingers for great weather.
With this expansion of the art walk, I hear there's a new event that's going to be happening this year as far as, I think they're calling it the Mile of Music.
We are actually partnering with the Mile of Music. I'm sure many of our viewers have heard of this fantastic music festival that takes place in downtown Appleton each August. It is a artisan or handcrafted folk music festival, and they focus on up-and-coming artists as well as some artists that are a little bit more established, and they, over a period of 4 days, it's a long weekend event, they have something in the neighborhood of 600 live music acts, and all of the acts take place within a 1-mile stretch of College Avenue located in bars, restaurants, coffee shops, as well as some outdoor performances. All the performances are free to attend, and they're generously funded by sponsors in the area. So as a community member, you're able to go see many different musicians you perhaps have never heard of, or if you've heard of them, you probably don't have a lot of opportunities to see them, experience some different music, and it's all original music, which is a little bit unique for this area still. We do tend to have more of a focus on cover bands, so the opportunity to bring original musicians into Northeast Wisconsin is tremendous. As far as what we're doing specifically in De Pere, Definitely De Pere is partnered with the City of De Pere and with Williams Marketing, which is the group in Appleton that completely coordinates the Mile of Music, and we're creating our own event here. It won't be called the Mile of Music. It has a name which we are going to be announcing shortly. We don't want to ruin the surprise yet. But the gist of it is, on opposite Fridays from when we have our art walks, we will have 6 Friday nights dedicated to original music performances. Each of those nights will have 6 venues, 3 on the east side, 3 on the west side, that will have original musicians, probably 2 sets apiece, and they'll rotate throughout the night and they'll be staggered. So you have the opportunity to actually see 12 performances every other Friday night from original musicians. Some of them you may have heard of, others will be local musicians from the community, from the Midwest, and some actually pulling from the Nashville area. So really excited to bring this new and different kind of music to De Pere, and we feel that it parallels perfectly with our art walk, which focuses on showcasing emerging artists from the area.
You said that the musicians will probably be switching from, would it be from venue to venue, or will they stay at the same venue for the entire?
They would move. So essentially what would happen would be, we'd have one, let's just pick one venue in particular. That venue might have an act at 6 o'clock, and then they might have an act at 9 o'clock. So throughout the evening, you'll be able to go back and forth to different venues. Most likely an artist will only do 2 venue switches, and it would most likely be between the east and the west side. But we would have essentially 12 opportunities to see performing arts that evening, and we'll stagger them so that they don't all start at the same time. That way you could feasibly go from place to place and really experience a lot of music in one evening in De Pere. Since there's no cover cost to enter any of the bars or venues, and there will be alcohol-free venues as well, it essentially creates a free event where people are able to experience music at no cost, whereas attending concerts usually implies that there are tickets and fees to see music.
So do you have specific dates that you're looking at for not only the art walk, but when, I guess mostly when it's going to be kicked off?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the kickoff date for the art walk is May 29th of this year, and the kickoff for the music event is June 5th. We do have the art walk dates listed on our website, www.definitelydepere.org, and if you go on our main page under the events tab, there's a tab for Downtown De Pere Art Walk. We have all the events listed there, as well as information about what kind of artists you can witness at the event. The music dates will all be announced formally with a press release in April of 2015.
So are you going to have like a special kickoff and maybe a conclusion?
We are. I can't tell you too much about it yet. It's really something we're trying to keep under wraps so we can have a really big media explosion when we announce the opening concert especially, we were hoping to have an opening concert with a well-known artist from the Mile of Music, somebody who really has not only Midwest acclaim, but is also nationally known, a folk-natured artist. They're going to be doing a private concert at Dudley Burter Hall on the St. Norbert College campus. We're really excited about that. That would be our kickoff concert, which would be a ticketed event because it is a very high-name artist. And then we're hoping for the closing of the festival that we will be having an outdoor music festival one day long in August to kind of close off the summer, finish our summer of celebration, and it would include a day-long festival that would have multiple artists from the area and kind of be a one-day conclusion during the daytime. So information on both of those, as well as the artists and dates for the 6 nights, will all be available on our website soon. Now, just if you want to mark your calendars, all of the Art Walk dates are already listed. The easiest way to figure out when the music will be, it will be opposite Friday evenings. The only Friday we're taking off all summer is the Friday of the 4th of July.
Well, it sounds like it's a very exciting event that's going to be happening within our community this summer, and kind of reminds me a little bit of Celebrate when we kicked it off in 1990 for the 100th. And I guess the question would be, depending on how successful this is, are you looking at doing anything further with this type of event?
I would certainly hope so. And by no means are we trying to compete with Celebrate De Pere. Celebrate De Pere is a 25-year-old institution in our community. And for our viewers, I'm sure they all know already, it's a 3-day festival over Memorial Day weekend that has a huge emphasis on reinvesting in the community through charitable contributions. The festival raises a tremendous amount of funds each year, which are directly reinvested into local nonprofits. It also brings some national acts into the community and has some other really fun elements like the car show. They have the fireworks. It's really a great weekend to effectively celebrate being in De Pere and being a part of the De Pere community. We are starting our event the weekend after Memorial Day so that Celebrate De Pere can effectively be the kickoff to summer as we celebrate our Quasquicentennial. We are hopeful, though, that the music event will be something we can repeat next summer. The Art Walk, which we first debuted in 2013, we thought perhaps would only be a one-year venture, and it ended up being so wildly successful and popular with our downtown community that we have been able effectively to repeat it 2 more times, and we see it as a permanent institution in De Pere.
Well, we certainly get enough people that come down here, not only from De Pere, but from the outlying areas too. You're right, it's been hugely successful.
We're really happy to see that our community is not only really receptive to artists, but also that they want to support them. I'm constantly surprised each year by how many artists come to the event and are able to successfully sell their work. You know, we had always seen it as an opportunity for community members to see artists, but we didn't realize what an urge there was within the community to purchase artwork. So it's ended up being a really great event, not only for our community members, but also for artists in the region. And we're hoping that as the years continue, we'll build a reputation and an image for De Pere that we are a community that embraces the arts and wants to support them.
So what really, I think I know the answer to this question, but what really makes this event different from other musical events throughout this area?
Well, 2 things, and I'm going to talk about the Art Walk first. What makes the Art Walk different from other events in the community is we don't actually go to galleries. So we do have some other communities nearby that do gallery walks. Now, unfortunately in De Pere, we have several art-related businesses, but we do not have a large gallery presence. So what we've effectively created are pop-up galleries. On these select Friday nights when we have art walks between 5 and 8 p.m., you can visit anywhere from, on the low end, 30 different venues, and on the high end, up to 50 venues, where they've effectively transformed their business into a temporary gallery for the evening. And in addition to being able to see artwork, we always have it required that the artist be on site. This gives you the opportunity to ask questions, meet the artist in person, and if you'd like to arrange a purchase of a piece, you can do so right there at the event. What makes the music event different is, instead of being a ticketed concert, we obviously mentioned that it's free. One thing that sets aside the 6 Friday evenings where we'll have the indoor music is that it will be a very intimate experience. Now, sometimes when you go to a concert, it can be a lot of people there, it can be a little bit loud, or it might be difficult to meet the artists afterwards. By having these small settings, and they'll all be inside downtown De Pere businesses, the venues will be announced next month in April, you'll be able to really meet these artists one-on-one and have a chance to talk to them after their set. It'll be probably in a group of less than 100 people that'll be in the venue, depending on some of the venue sizes. So it'll be a chance to really meet people one-on-one and have a close, intimate experience, almost like that when you have an emerging artist. Some of these are emerging artists, but some of the artists we're bringing in are actually well-known. It's just a chance to have an intimate concert experience with them.
Are there any other events other than those 2 that you're planning during this 125th celebration?
Well, Definitely De Pere is planning one more event for the summer. We're bringing back our very popular Yoga in the Park. That is a Thursday night free yoga class for all levels that takes place in Voyager Park. This is our third year launching Yoga in the Park. Has been very successful in De Pere the last 2 years. Our first year when we held it in 2013, we had over 1,000 people come out across the 8 classes to take a free yoga class in the park. And last year in 2014, we had over 2,000 people come out. So if we follow our current record, we're slated to have over 3,000 people come out and do yoga. And for our viewers, that starts the Thursday after the 4th of July and runs for every Thursday following the 4th of July weekend through July and August. It's free. It's at 6 o'clock on Thursday nights. 2 more events that Definitely De Pere does not host ourselves, but we're happy to promote as great things to attend, are the St. Norbert College Nights on the Fox concert series, which is typically a 6-time outdoor concert series on Tuesday evenings in July and August, and also the City Band concerts, which take place on Thursday evenings, typically right after yoga in the park. And I believe there are 8 dates for that, and those take place across June, July, and August, and those are held in Voyager Park. So those are 2 other musical experiences that people can have on evenings in downtown De Pere.
Thank you. How can we keep up with all these things that are happening?
Well, and not to shamelessly self-promote, but I definitely recommend anyone who lives in De Pere check out the Definitely De Pere website, and you can find that online at www.definitelydepere.org. From our website, you can also subscribe to our e-newsletter. We have 2 different options depending on how often you like to receive email. You can receive a weekly update, or you can receive just a once-a-month update. When you subscribe to our newsletter, we send out a short digest, and it is very short. You can read it in under 5 minutes because I know everyone's busy, and that gives a summary of what's coming up. If you sign up for the monthly update, it gives you a preview of the upcoming month. If you sign up for the weekly update, it tells you what's happening that weekend. It also includes information where it's the first place you'll hear about new businesses, new events coming up, and any news that you might want to know as a De Pere resident or as somebody who likes to visit downtown De Pere. So I certainly encourage that. You can also find us on Facebook. Our Facebook is Definitely De Pere. We are also on Twitter at Downtown De Pere. And we update all of these platforms to make sure that we are keeping all interested parties that like downtown De Pere aware of what's happening.
With all these great things happening in our community, there's got to be some kind of funding. How do you plan on funding some of this? Well,
I do have to say that the 125th Quasquicentennial concert series that we're launching, which we'll have a name announced next month in April, that is being very generously funded by the City of De Pere as our chief sponsor. We also do have some generous corporate sponsors who will be listed with the event when we announce everything formally in April. But we really do rely heavily on our De Pere businesses and businesses outside of De Pere in the greater Green Bay area that make generous donations each year to our projects. We do launch a capital campaign for the De Pere Beautification Committee in March each year, and that's a great example of our community members investing in beautification projects in the downtown. We raise thousands of dollars that are directly spent on flowers and decorations in the downtown to make it a beautiful place to live, as well as a thriving business community. So we are funded through a variety of sources. Definitely De Pere specifically each year is funded in part through our Business Improvement District, as I mentioned earlier in this episode, as well as community sponsors and business sponsors. We do have some events that we're able to use as fundraisers too.
With an event of this size, you may need volunteers, and how can volunteers and people who want to get involved, and maybe families, do you have volunteer opportunities for those people?
We certainly do. We do across most of our events. The art walk and the music event will be 2 of the big ones where we'll have volunteer opportunities, and any interested party can head to our website, www.definitelydepere.org, and hit the contact us button on the upper right-hand corner of the website. There is a section for volunteer opportunities, or if you just want to ask some questions, you can feel free to call. I'll be the one answering the phone.
Well, this sounds like just a fantastic thing that's going to be happening in downtown De Pere. And, I know as a city we're really excited to have this, and I really want to thank you for taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and running with this, because it is a very important time for the city. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I would be remiss if I did not give our viewers a preview of two very exciting beautification projects we're launching this summer. Two of the big things we're most excited about are very visible pieces of our downtown. You probably know if you live or visit De Pere that we have our hunter green banners that say Historic Downtown De Pere. They've got the cupola from the old De Pere Library, and we're actually going to be replacing those banners this year with some new exciting ones that celebrate our downtown. Those will be put up before Memorial Day. And the city has generously invested in hanging baskets for the downtown. So we already have our beautiful 40 pots that decorate the downtown and our flower beds, which are generously planted through our volunteers' efforts. We have thousands of petunias all over the downtown. This year we'll be adding 90 permanent hanging baskets. So those will be double baskets on 45 lampposts in downtown De Pere, and those will be really beautiful because not only do they offer the businesses the beauty of a pot outside their business, it also offers our auto traffic, which perhaps may not notice the planters, which are at street level, more walking view. We'll be able to have those hanging baskets visible, and they're going to be a really great permanent influence in our downtown. We are the only community in the area that will have hanging baskets in our downtown. Most of the other communities in the greater Green Bay area do not have them, so it'll really set us apart and really make our downtown even more charming than it already is.
Thank you, Allyson, for taking the time to provide our viewers with information about the events that are happening during our 125th anniversary for the city of De Pere. So this concludes another episode of the Mayor's Corner. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Mayor Mike Walsh.